YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host TKK and we are back with another video, guys. Thanks a lot for the support. I'm gonna keep on grinding, keep pushing these videos out, bringing you this real content. All right, guys, so check it out. From the title, you can see my message to you today is why aren't you using this device? This device is going to be a gaming PC. If you purchased a Samsung S95B specifically, there's no way you have not at least considered getting yourself a gaming PC. More or less, if you purchase one of LG's fantastic OLED TVs, ever since 2019, they've been bringing us the heat with the G-Sync functionality that just makes it where you have little to no screen tearing at pretty much most variable refresh rates that you can get on the TV. Even if you jumped into the game with Sony in 2022 brought us some heat where we didn't have the same issues in 2021, where we expected variable refresh rate and had to wait for different firmware updates and things of that sort. And guys, to take it a little bit further, even if you bought any of the premium LEDs from companies like Hisense or TCL or maybe even Vizio, it doesn't matter what the brand is, you definitely should be considering getting yourself a gaming PC. And we're going to talk about that right after this intro. All right, guys, so again, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully everybody is safe and feeling good. Me, I feel excellent. I feel really productive. And I want to bring you this video. Today, we're going to be just really talking about why you should be considering a gaming PC. Now, I haven't sat down and wrote this out and scripted this. I just wanted to be able to talk to you very passionately about PC gaming. It's not the most affordable thing. I'm going to spearhead with that, guys. But listen, let's just be frank. If you bought any of these TVs that I mentioned in the intro sequence of this video, then I'm not going to say that you're not concerned with affordability or that you have an unlimited budget, but it means that you wanted to buy into the upper echelon of performance. So once again, if you've got your C2, your G2, your S95B, your A90K, your A95K, your A80K, any of these levels of TVs, even some of the, like I said, the premium upper echelon options from Hisense or TCL, they're going to put you in a position where you can get some peak performance that consoles are not going to be able to give you 100% of the time. And if you don't have the budget, you also aren't going to get that with PCs 100% of the time. But the point is, it's going to put you in a place where you can achieve more or less what you would expect to get out of the TVs. So we know the big thing with TVs now is going to be 4K at 120 hertz. Well, our first introduction to that from an OLED perspective was with the 2019 lineup from LG. They provided us with the C9, and that was an amazing TV. I just absolutely loved it. It was so ahead of its time that we didn't get consoles that could do that until the following year, holiday season 2020, right? At that time, guys, we had CX was an option. So we had another iteration of that technology with other manufacturers spearheading some options for us. Now, I posted a short of one of my older Samsungs not too long ago. You can check it out right here. So I've been in the game for a long time. I've been keeping up to date with the bleeding edge for a long time, and gaming is just at the forefront of what I love to use my TVs for. I do stream movies, I stream television content. Most of the stuff that I watch is going to be streamed from my own personal Plex server. More on that content coming down the pipeline with the channel, but I do also have some physical media too. This video is not really discussing that. It's talking about the convenience of a gaming PC, what you could do at least. So there's two different things that motivated me to this. Number one is going to be my PC that I built specifically for my arcade cabinet. It's called a Chulix. And if you haven't seen that content, I'll tag it in right there for you guys to check it out. After you see this PC, maybe you're interested in seeing what this cabinet is like, and it's a work of art. I love playing fighting games competitively, and I put that together. This video isn't about that. However, I am going to card in some content by way of just, B-rolling some content, flashing it over me talking to just show you guys this. This thing is made exactly like a console. It's a very small form factor. And there are bigger options. There are options that are going to give you more airflow and ventilation. But I really want you guys to be considering this going forward. Now, the PC that I put together that's for my Chulix cabinet is put in place so that I can game in 4K at up to 144 hertz in fighting games. Guys, the higher the refresh rate, essentially the lower the input latency. So when you're playing something that's competitive, you want low input latency, you want a fast response time, you want all of those different things. And in order to get the best of the best, it's going to be with a PC. It does not matter whatever your personal tastes or preferences or budgets might be, that is the best. Now, outside of that, there are some great flexible options with PC gaming. There are technologies that you can put in place. In me, I'm more experienced with the NVIDIA side of things, though I do use Intel and AMD processors. I don't really fancy using AMD graphics cards. Again, guys, nothing against you if you're Team Red on the graphical side of things. It's just not my taste. I love NVIDIA. I love what they've brought for me, and I'm a very loyal guy. You know, when I get to a company that's going to give me what I want, it's what I'm going to go after. This is why the LG C2 is literally, in my opinion, my favorite TV. It's not the best looking TV of 2022, and I know that the G2 is a higher model, but I don't own that TV. But the C2 is the best, you know, overall my favorite TV in my collection. And I do have all the upper echelon models. Above that, minus the G2, I digress. The point is, you know, when you get a PC and you get one of these displays, you're going to have a definitive experience. So I know one of the first things that's going to kind of hold people back from playing on a PC is the fact that, you know, it's not very uniform. By way of comparing it to a console, you're going to put yourself in a position where you got to hit a power button, you got to have a mouse, you got to have a keyboard. Well, the reasoning in the prior transition that I was talking about my arcade cabinet is, if you see that video, and I've timestamped it so you can definitely check it out, I've got it set up where I can just turn the PC on and then I'm controlling everything directly through the arcade cabinet. So the joystick and the buttons that are on it are all registering as an Xbox input. It would be the same if it was a PlayStation input, but it puts me in a position where I don't have to have a mouse and keyboard. I took it a little step further and I got a Stream Deck from Elgato, and it just made it so that I can have some buttons that I can hit to kind of open up a program, close a program, or give me a specific functionality. Removing the Stream Deck completely, if you were to build yourself a PC and you were to put it on your new quantum dot OLED or your WOLED or your nice fancy mini LED or your full array LED or your edge LED or your backlit LED to game on, you can do the same thing. You can do this by running a front end. Now, my front end of choice is going to be Big Box. Launchbox is the desktop version of that. You can download that. It's free software. You can load up your content and you can tell your computer to just turn itself on and go directly into this program, the same way I have my arcade set up. Now, I'm bringing you this content because Big Box has finally put some new features into its algorithm with the newest update. I think it's 13.1, don't quote me. But what this has done is it's put us in a position where within Big Box, which again is just a front end, that's all it is, guys. It's a front end. So basically, think of your console when you turn it on. When you turn it on, you've got a dashboard, and your dashboard just is a gateway to different menus. Behind those menus, there's a bunch of codes and letters and numbers, but from the face value of what you see, you just got a beautiful representation of a market, pretty much. You got a market to go online, you got a market to chat with friends, you got a market to open this game, you got a market to open that game. That's all it is. It's a front end, and essentially Big Box does the same thing. So it does take a little bit of know-how, but once you get this thing going, you can dump your emulation games in there, you can dump your window games in there, you know, you can dump whatever games that you might have, or programs for that matter. This even can be used for movies also, TV show content, things like that. You know, you just load it up and you can have that experience. It puts you in this position where, you know, you can just turn a computer on, turn a controller on remotely, just hit that button. You know how the Xbox controller works. Hit that guy button in the middle, sit down and start playing your games, man. It gets no better. Affordability does come into question. And so again, there are technologies on PC that are very similar to what you get on consoles. So the consoles, they're going to have the temporal upscaling, right? What does that mean? That means essentially you're not going to play a lot of these games at a native resolution, right? We want 4K. 4K is so sexy. It's so trending right now. We want to be able to play in 4K, but we want to establish that 60 frames per second because that's butter smooth. That's the staple. Okay, cool, great. So, you know, companies have put in place technologies that you can use. For example, in like the Grand Theft Auto trilogy remasters, the Spider-Man remaster that's on PlayStation 5. You know, these are running in 4K, but not natively in 4K. So it's a lower resolution, but internally it's being, you know, it's internally a lower resolution, but from what you're seeing from the visuals aspects of your screen, they're filling up all of those 8.4 million pixels to bring you a better image than what you would have, you know, otherwise, right? And so that's the type of technology that's also in PC. On the NVIDIA side, you have the Deep Learning Super Sampler, DLSS. It's a great feature. Personally, I'd rather go balls to the wall and buy the best graphics card and buy the best processor and collectively put them together so that I can have the best, most native experience in PC gaming. However, those features do exist, guys. Listen, in my PC that I started and I built for my Chulix, I started with an RTX 2060. I tested this game called God of War that you guys have seen me feature on many of videos. I've played God of War in different sequences when I did the sun test on the C2, S95B, and the A95k. All that content is backlogged in my channel. You can take a look at it if you'd like. But again, I tried this game with this graphics card and I played it in 4K with a lower resolution. And guys, I was getting north of 80 frames, 90 frames per second, max settings. This is absolutely ridiculous. It made me almost want to eat my words where I was saying I don't like deep learning super sample, because keeping in mind, this was being played on a 32-inch screen. On a larger screen like my 65-inch, 55-inch, or dare I say the 77-inch C1 that I currently do still have, you know, I'm going to want to play it native, but it's still a possibility. What that means essentially is that now you can consider an affordable option with building your PC. All right, the whole point of this video is just to bring about a little bit of intelligence. Now, I know that I've got a lot of guys that follow my TV content and they're PC gamers. They're like enthusiastic about it, just like I am. So if you guys happen to see this, make sure you chime in. Let's talk about some best practices. Let's get some engagement going. You know, the PC piece of my channel isn't the most, you know, this isn't like my claim to fame, but it's something that I'm looking to bridge the gaps with. I'm looking to get the one thing going to the next thing. This is what All About TKK is all about. And I want you guys to take a part in the conversation. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If I can't answer them, I got a great group of guys that do regular on the channel with PC gaming, and they'll be able to answer them. Again, we're not throwing any shade on consoles. I don't have time to argue with people about what's better, what's most affordable. I'm just here to just open your mind up to see some possibilities. That's all. I want you to be able to experience great things like I am. And if it means you got to save and you got to set a goal, do it. Because that's how I got all of my TVs, and I explained that to you guys in this video right here. Once again, I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming by for another video. And if you like this video, leave a thumb up. If you didn't like it, leave a comment also and let me know. But I hope I catch you guys on the next one. Peace. God bless. And as I always say, max love.